Hello, St. Anne Parish, and welcome to this week's Quick Things. Coming to you this week in two locations. First of all, we're here in church, which, as you can see, looks a little different than it did when we were gathered here on Sunday, celebrating the Epiphany. So at the conclusion, during our masses this last weekend, we had some prayers of intercession, offering thanks for the people and God's grace that has encouraged our parish, helped create our parish, and encouraged us over so many years. And then some prayers for the laborers who will be recreating our church, and prayer for our community as we go through this time of transition and anticipation. But then at the conclusion of our Sunday night Mass, folks who are gathered were encouraged to help move the poinsettias and the nativity scene figures, putting the poinsettias in McKillop Hall and the nativity scene figures up in their storage space. So we had a lot of activity after Mass, and thanks to the folks who helped to do that. But that was a meager prelude to what unfolded here on Monday morning. So we had a group of about 30 folks who turned out to help remove the pews and take down the Stations of the Cross backgrounds and railings, and whatever was bolted down or in place was moved. And so the church is really, there's nothing here. The only thing that's left are those microphones and lighting fixtures over the former choir area. So those will be removed, I think, when we have an ability to reach those things and pull them down. So otherwise, the technology, the video cameras, things like that we use for live streaming, all of that was removed yesterday. So those thanks for the great response of parishioners who turned out with their tools ready to go and got things cleared out. So we were ready on Tuesday morning when the folks from Ellis Construction arrived to begin their work. That's kind of, we're here now on Tuesday afternoon. Obviously, there's not a lot happening, but things will pick up tomorrow. The first steps will be to remove the choir loft area, exposing those stained glass windows that are back there, which will be a significant part of the cross design on that eastern wall of the church. And so we'll provide you, if not video updates, if we can get in here, if they let us in, or at least pictures of how things are progressing as we go along. So just to remember, it's been a while since we had our meetings back in the summer to talk about why we're doing what we're doing or what's guided this project. And three main components of that. And that is to enhance the unity of the assembly, the people who are gathered, so that and this is, as we explained back at the meetings, the vision of our worship is that we come together as a body of Christ, and so we're not scattered in various pockets around the church, and so the redesign will help to enhance that. Indeed, even our worship in McKillop Hall, the design of that will help to enhance that understanding of unity. The importance of linking the altar and the font so that there's a clear progression from the font to the altar. Again, as we practice the rituals of initiation, we go from the baptismal font to the altar where we celebrate Eucharist. And so the redesign emphasizes that link. And then also the importance of the altar being the natural focal point. So that when we walk into the church, it's very clear that altar would be the primary thing we see. And our redesign will help to enhance that. The presentation that was done at our meetings in June and July has been updated and incorporates then the redesigned features and is on our website. So if you're kind of wanting to be refreshed in that or weren't part of those earlier meetings and want a better understanding of why we're doing or what we're doing, I'd encourage you to go to the website and check out that presentation. It's on the Reimagining Our Church page at the website. And there's a link with this email to take you there as well. I think those are the reimagining things. A couple other things we'll talk about, but let's move to McKillop Hall and do it there. For one thing, I think it's warmer in McKillop Hall. So here we are in McKillop Hall where it is a little bit warmer, and as you can see where we are still celebrating Christmas, so those poinsettias that were in church have been moved here for our worship this last Sunday of Christmas time coming up this coming weekend, the baptism of the Lord, and then we'll proceed with moving into beginning ordinary time the week after that. So just a couple things as we gather here in McKillop Hall. First of all, to clarify that McKillop Hall is known by some as the gym, so that's where we're at. You come in right off the main parking lot into the main entrance, and we're right inside to the left. In terms of parking, understandably, it won't be convenient for most people to park on the South Bridge Street side, where lots of folks have easily parked and then come right in the south entranceway. We'll have that again when we move back into church in the spring or summer, but we won't have that ease of access right now. However, there will be sufficient parking spots for people who have special needs. There will be cones put out to mark extra parking spaces. And then the rest of us who can walk, let's just park further away and leave as many spaces as possible closer to the building. We come right in, it's all on one level. If there are folks who want communion brought to them, I would encourage you to sit right inside the doors in the area along the side to the altar. It will kind of identify those for you as you gather for Mass, and it'll be very easy for the ministers to bring communion to the folks in those seats. Also, since we don't have kneelers, we'll remain standing during the Eucharistic prayer, so folks who aren't able to remain standing, the closer you sit to the front, the easier it will be for you to see what is happening during the Mass. Just a few other changes in procedure as we gather here. I mentioned standing for the Eucharistic prayer, and as we have been for communion, those of us who are able, that encouraging again that awareness of unity as we worship. Collection baskets will be passed. It'll be very easy to do that in the setup that we have, so we will gather the collection in the more traditional manner of passing the basket, as we also did at Christmas time. And then communion will be offered at the altar. We'll have two lines of people coming forward at communion time to receive communion. So very simple. I think the two main differences that we'll experience is that it will be brighter. There won't be pockets of shadows throughout the church. It will be brighter, and also we will be closer together. We won't be as scattered as we have been often at Masses in the regular church. So, but I think those are things. Hopefully, those are benefits actually, and I hope that we will, acclimate to them. One other thing to remember is that we will continue to live stream the Mass. In addition to all the other activity that was going on Monday, folks were preparing, John Schmidt and others were putting in place all the components for our live stream. So we'll continue to do that at 4 o'clock, and then you can access that anytime in the usual places. I think that takes care of all of that. And there's just the other thing is there may be a few kinks. It's probably not going to be the smoothest operation right off the bat. There may be some sound issues or whatever. So with a week or two, we'll have all that worked out. So let's just be patient with one another. That was one of the things we prayed for in our intercessions this weekend. I want to talk about our new neighbors. So I did mention this at Mass this last Sunday, so I won't go into the whole story about how they arrived early and all of that. But the Seneca family is here now a week. And thanks again to all of our parishioners who have helped make their transition to living in Wausau so far a good experience. If you are interested in being part of this welcoming process of helping them acclimate, driving, maybe offering them, helping them in some kind of, we don't even know all the ways that we can help them yet, but if you're interested in learning more about what you might do to be part of that welcoming and enculturation effort, respond to this email, let me know, and we will put you in touch with various teams that are working with different aspects of that welcoming process. So if you want to learn more about that, let me know and we'll get you on track with that. Trying to read. Oh, and speaking of enculturation and welcoming folks from Afghanistan, there is a video link with this email that is very helpful. It was offered last week by New Beginnings, one of the organizations that's helping in the bigger picture of welcoming refugees in Wausau. So I'd encourage you to check that out. It just gives you an idea of how we as individuals can anticipate these new neighbors. And there will be more Afghan families coming to Wausau over the next few weeks. So, we want to be a part of those folks, welcoming them and making them feel at home. And this video will help you figure out how to do that. We want to figure out also other ways of helping introduce the parish to this Seneca family, and we'll kind of provide more information about that. Oh my gosh, my notes are so complicated. I guess just to conclude this part with a little story. So Mary Lee Schulte is a parishioner who has been helping the family acclimate, especially in terms of shopping and things like that. And they went to Dollar General last week and were checking out, and they had a lot of stuff, helping this family establish their household. And Mary Lee said that they were in line and it was taking a long time to check them out. And the person behind them, who could have easily been frustrated or annoyed that these people were taking so long, plus people from, who knows where, the person said to Mary Lee, "Would you please let them know that we're glad they are here in Wausau?" So isn't that a great story? And it sure boosted Mary Lee. Not that she was frustrated in the moment or anything, but it really gave her a charge as she continued to help the family that day. And I think that that's an important witness model for all of us as we go into the upcoming weeks and months and help to welcome other Afghan families to Wausau. Just a couple concluding things. First of all, hey, summer seems a long way away, but if you have teenagers in your family or know of some and you would want to encourage them to be part of our summer mission trip, information is in this email, within the Quick Things email that can help you prepare for, get them on track for that summer mission trip. Grand Rapids, Michigan is the destination in July. And so even though that's a long way away, we do some preparation, which begins in a week or so please be attentive to that. Father James Martin has said that he hears from lots of folks who have set as their New Year's resolution to pray more. And there's a link with the Quick Things to an article that he wrote, posted this week, about how to pray more. His first suggestion is pray less, so you have to read to find out what he means by that. Also, with the Quick Things is a link to a kind of an introduction to Give Us This Day, which is what I recommend for folks to help kind of focus our prayer each day. Many parishioners already subscribe to this, and we have a parish subscription so you can get a lower rate. So I encourage you to check that out as well, in addition to Father Martin's article. Curiously, among the 5 things he identifies, he does not mention Give Us This Day, even though he is one of their editorial consultants. So I think he forgot that. So give some time to that article by James Martin and check out Give Us This Day, the link that gives you an introduction to that. And then finally, as we conclude our celebration of Christmas this Sunday with the Feast of the Baptism of the Lord, time to collect the baby bottles to support the Hope Life Center and the last call for gift cards for St. Vincent de Paul Society. There are details about those needs within the email. And finally, to conclude with a prayer from Give Us This Day, from an organization called Prayer Without Borders, and it's a litany for peace at the beginning of a new year. Mary, Mother of the Poor, help us bear peace to the world. Laboring Mother at the bolted door, help us bear peace to the world. Mother who fled to safety with her child, help us bear peace to the world. Mother who saw the death of holy innocents, help us bear peace to the world. Bearer of the Christ, help us bear peace to the world. Bearer of immense responsibility, help us bear peace to the world. Bearer of the light of possibility, help us bear peace to the world. Bearer of the good news, help us bear peace to the world. Woman who said yes to the divine, help us bear peace to the world. Woman who pondered miracles in her heart, help us bear peace to the world. Woman arrayed with confidence, help us bear peace to the world. Woman clothed in undying faith, help us bear peace to the world. Amen. See you in McKillop Hall for Mass this weekend.